Hello everyone, you are about to hear a short recap of the movie, The Merciless. Two gangsters at the port were talking about their boss. Bayan looked his friend in the eyes as he was executed right in the middle of lunch. Hyun-soo had just been released from prison. Outside, crime boss Han was waiting for him with his crew. Han is the right-hand man of syndicate leader Sedeoi. He is now speaking with Police Inspector Cheon-suk. She has long tried to put Sedeoi behind bars. The woman noticed that the organization had a newcomer. Enjoy your food while you can. Anyway, you'll end up in jail and jerking off to a photo. We rewind 3 years, when Han was also serving time. Inmates entertained themselves by slapping each other. Against the local champion stood a scrawny boy, Hyun-soo. After the first slap, the weakling faltered. After the third, he nearly collapsed. In return, the cheeky kid punched the big guy in the face. It turned out the newcomer knew how to fight. He beat up the champion's friends and knocked him to the ground as well. Hyun-soo was still slapping the fat guy when the guard stopped him. This caught Han's attention. Han liked the bold youngster, so he made sure the fat guy's gang wouldn't touch him. A priest immediately came up to Hyun-soo. "These wild animals won't touch me as long as I stay near you." The priest told him more about Han. The guards smuggle him cigarettes. Han resells them to inmates. He took over this business as soon as he landed in prison. He became the #1 figure there, and stayed the same outside. Well, after Sedeoi, of course. Bayan didn't like the newcomer. He started bullying the boy, but Sedeoi quickly put his nephew in place by slapping him in public. Bayan cried in the parking lot. Han found it funny. "Are you crying?" "Did I cry?" "Yes, you did." "You damn bastard! When did I ever cry?" Sedeoi wanted the boy to tell him what they did behind bars. At some point, Han's position wavered. Another boss nicknamed Horse tried to take his place. Han proposed splitting the business. But Horse arrogantly refused. He thought everything was under his control. Guards suddenly searched the place and arrested Han's assistant. They beat Han with batons and threw him in solitary. Horse had simply bribed the guards. He and the chief were from the same town. Han's crew was scattered. But Han was still too dangerous to leave alive. The bulky inmate was about to stab him, but Hyun-soo knocked away the shank and floored him. The gangster thanked him with a block of cigarettes. Speaker 05. "Your life is worth a whole block?" The two came up with an idea. They took photos of Han with piles of cigarettes. This showed the guards let him run business inside. If they kept pressuring him, it'd be their fault. The photos would go to the prosecutor. They already had the right people to send them to. The blackmail worked. The warden stopped covering for Horse. Han tied him up and poured boiling water on his legs. Then he sent his friend outside. He was going to keep torturing the inmates, but the bulky one shouted that Sedeoi had ordered Han's death. Speaker 06. "Your boss betrayed you. He ordered your Horse to look at him." Then slowly poured boiling water onto his face. A month passed after Hyun-soo's release. Sedeoi remembers picking up homeless Han from the streets. He raised him and made him his right-hand man. But now he doubts his dog's loyalty. He barks and forgets his place. For a second, Sedeoi thought it was an assassination attempt, but Han had just thrown a baseball into the window. 3.5 years before these events, Cheon-suk had seriously focused on taking Sedeoi business to cover for smuggling operations. They shipped honey, hashish, and cocaine inside iceboxes. Cheon-suk came up with a risky but promising plan. She decided to put one cop undercover in the gang. That was the one who got killed in the port. And the second, Hyun-soo, would serve 3 years to get close to Han. The academy graduate refused at first, until the chief promised to find a kidney donor for his sick mother. "We'll pay for her dialysis until we get her a donor. It's your choice. Hyun-soo had to agree. The team built him a background story. Luckily, he was good at talking and didn't blow his cover. Han wasn't the trusting type, but Hyun-soo managed to get close, even living in the same cell as him. Bayon didn't like working for his uncle. He confirmed the old man had ordered Han's hit and offered to help Han take him out. How can you kill family so easily? To hell with them. Look, I ordered the wrong pasta and he threw an ashtray at me. He almost poked my eye out. Well, maybe it was your fault. The cops found the frozen body of the undercover agent. All they had left was Hyun-soo. Hyun-soo is safe. He's alive and well, but prison won't protect him. They managed to find a kidney for his mother and were ready for surgery. But on the way to the hospital, she was murdered. Hyun-soo was simply told she had collapsed dead. Hyun-soo hoped he'd be released at least for a day to bury her. Speaker 05. I've rotted here 2 whole years and can't even bury my mother. 05. If you don't let me out, if I erase the records, you're done. The inspector denied his request. Out of anger, Hyun-soo attacked Han, blaming him for being stuck inside. Han beat him down. Still, the boss knew what it was like. Han himself grew up an orphan. So he arranged for his friend's release. Speaker 03. Han paid for the funeral? He threatened me, so I'd let Hyun-soo say goodbye to his mother. That's when he first realized how close Han was to him. He had never known his own father. Meanwhile, Han's mother once tried to poison the whole family. Thankfully, as a boy, he noticed bitterness in the food and spat it out. His parents never got up from the table. And the moral: don't trust people, trust circumstances. Han offered the boy to be his partner, not lackey, a friend. Speaker 05. Friend, I'm a cop. 4 months passed after release. The cops planted a bug in Hyun-soo's watch. Right now, he was negotiating with a seasoned criminal to sell Sedioi's stolen customs seals. But the man dragged it out, so Hyun-soo stabbed his hand with a screwdriver. A one-against-all fight began. Han worried for his protege and rushed in with backup. But Hyun-soo was holding his own. He managed to cut 20 men with a knife. Suddenly, a 2-meter giant attacked. Not even an iron pipe could hurt him. The giant tried to crush Hyun-soo, but Han jumped on his back, screaming like a mad monkey. Together, they strangled the brute. Then Hyun-soo jumped onto the gang leader and beat him half to death. Sedioi got the seals, and the newcomer solidified his position. While Han was negotiating in the club, Hyun-soo went outside for air. One cop from his team grabbed him and handed new bugged watch. The old one he had smashed on a gangster's face. Han noticed them. Hyun-soo punched the cop, claiming he was a pervert peeking while he peed. Han joined in, kicking the cop. Han immediately realized he was a cop and searched his friend. He trusted no one. For years, Han trusted no one. He had been betrayed by many, even his boss, whom he served faithfully for 20 years. Sedioi was planning a huge deal. But to buy 50 kilos of drugs, he needed a lot of cash. The inspector would notice that. So Han suggested using their newcomer. Turns out the bosses knew about the agent almost from the start. He was photographed with the inspector. That's when Han devised his own plan. He would turn the cop and make him work for them. It was Han who ordered Hyun-soo's mother killed, then became his mentor and friend. Once the boy was kidnapped and doused in gasoline. Even then, he didn't reveal himself. But that was just a loyalty test from their side. Hyun-soo told them about the upcoming big deal. He still hoped to know who had killed his mom. But the cops claimed they didn't know. That day, the operation nearly collapsed. His mother's death had been the lever to control him. I never thought my mom would die like that. But without it, you wouldn't be with me. Once Hyun-soo secretly passed the inspector all the deal details. 2 gangs met at the port. The bosses went up on the ship. Their henchmen stayed outside. Suddenly, floodlights from dozens of cars blinded them. The police surrounded them from all sides. The SWAT team arrested everyone on the ship. The criminals tried to throw crates into the water. Everyone was forced on their knees. The inspector was sure she had won. But the crates only had sex dolls and adult magazines. Sedioy laughed and left the ship as if nothing happened. At the same time, Hyun-soo himself collected the real shipment. He had deliberately misled the inspector. Sedioy offered a drink to celebrate the deal. "Boss, I don't drink with corpses. What should I do? Forgive me." Damn traitors. The lights went out. Sedioy and his loyal men were executed. After the shootout, Han wounded his friend's arm. It hurt, but he had to take another shot. The cop was supposedly injured in the raid, but the inspector already suspected everything. Her agent was working against them, and she always knew Han had killed his mom. She had a recording from the crime scene. "Why? Why didn't you tell me? I thought you'd failed the mission. Why are you doing this? Calm down. You will let your mother's killer walk. But without it, you wouldn't be with me." Gangsters celebrated their new boss. Suddenly, Han got a call from Hyun-soo. He said the cops were checking on him. Someone must have ratted. Han remembered Hyun was killed. And only Bayon knew about the agent. So he suspected Bayon. Hyun-soo told him to leave town before cops arrived. But first, Han wanted to deal with the snitch. Bayon tried to convince him that Hyun-soo was the rat. But Han didn't believe him. He beat his old friend to death. Then he met with Hyun-soo at the arranged place. It seemed he broke his own rule. Actually, Han had figured it out. "On my way, I noticed a strange car following me." Shit. The gangster said he was tired and wanted out. But Han had spent his life killing and breaking laws. Like killing his boss or Hyun-soo's mom. He aimed the gun at his friend. "I should have killed you right away." "You should have." But even now, Han couldn't pull the trigger. Hyun-soo warned cops were about to storm in. Han shot some of them at the entrance. Hyun-soo sat silently, doing nothing. While Han killed policemen one by one, the boy asked for a gun, claiming only he could stop him. But the cop refused. They started fighting. Han shot him in the neck from behind. He still couldn't kill his friend. He only knocked him out. Then he staggered to his car, remembering the fun in prison. Suddenly, Inspector Sook rammed him with a car. She grabbed the keys to open his trunk. Inside were the drugs. Then Hyun-soo walked out. "Hyun-soo, wait!" Hyun-soo placed the gun in Han's hand. "Don't make the same mistakes." He listened to his friend. He held his nose and mouth shut until Han stopped moving. And after all this, Hyun-soo became a crypto blogger. He got into debt, and trying to pay it back ended up in a very strange game.